Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Profit Lifter Live. Today, we are going to be talking about how to create a content marketing strategy for your business, give you all the tools and resources that you need at your fingertips to be able to get in and come up with a great way to develop content for your business, because content is king. All the rest of this stuff is just extras. So if you're following along, give me a hi. Let me know that you're hanging out with me here. And if you have any questions or thoughts or would like to contribute to the conversation, just let me know in the comments, and I'd be more than happy to help out however we can. All right, we're gonna hop in here. So content marketing strategy. We are going to be looking at proven strategies to elevate your brand through valuable content. Again, if you're not producing content for your company, do it. You need to. So let's start with the basics. What is content marketing? Content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience. It's really going to consist of three different areas while you're focusing on your content marketing. One, building trust with your audience. Establish credibility through helpful, authentic content. Don't just go out there and recreate what everybody else is doing. Find your own blend. Now, look, if you've worked with me in developing campaigns, emails, anything like that, even just content for a website, one of the things that I'm very big about defining for our clients is making sure you have your unique value propositions. We really try to leave this to about 5 different UVPs. And these unique value propositions, the whole point of it is to separate yourself from the industry. It's really easy to go out there and try to mirror someone else and what they're doing, but it's not authentic. When you get authentic, you're going to be able to clearly define your brand, show people what you do, how you do it, why they should work with you, and build trust with that authenticity. Next is going to be lead nurturing, guide prospects through a buyer's journey with strategic content. If you're not showing your leads what's happening, where to go, how to get there, what the end result is, you're going to miss out on everything. Like, people are not going to, they're not going to buy into what you're selling, because at the end of the day, they want to know, they want to see that you've got a very clear path for them in everything that you're doing. And the last one's going to be thought leadership. People love working with leaders, people who are on the forefront, strategic, out there actually discussing, talking about all the different things that they can do, and not just the things that they could do, but actually coming up with real solutions. Now, if you really want to dive into the thought leadership aspect, one of the biggest things that you'll find, the people who do the best with content marketing on a thought leadership standpoint are really out there paving the way for new ideas. They're finding the biggest problems and giving real tangible solutions on how to overcome those problems. Because really, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Like, if you're not out there promoting, showing that you know that you have a solution to the problems that you solve, people are just not going to listen. So thought leadership is a very big part of what you should be focused on in your content marketing. Now, why is content marketing so important? Very simple. Content marketing works. 70% of people prefer to learn about a company through articles than ads. Meaning that when you're running ads, and I'm notorious for this, I'll run an ad, I'll end up on a landing page, I'll look at the content, see if it's something that I'm interested in. If I am, then I'm going to go look at their content. Like, I'm going to explore their website. I'm going to be looking for blogs. I'm going to be looking for different things, because I want to know that the company that I'm working with actually is there. They're engaged. They have a path. They're smart. That's a big part of it. But here's some of the benefits of content marketing. One, organic traffic. Quality content attracts visitors naturally through the search engines. My first venture into search engine optimization and SEO was completely by accident. So back in the day, during 2009, 2010, 2011, around that time when all the world was falling apart because of the mortgage crisis, I was a loan officer and I had started a credit repair company because I loved helping people to fix their credit and really just get to a point where they could buy a home. So ventured into that. And then through this, there were some changes inside of the industry that started happening where and one in particular, a bank couldn't qualify a loan if an account was in dispute. And so like I started getting calls just left and right from all of our referral partners saying, hey man, what do we do about this? How do we fix this? Here's the problem. I got tired of having the same conversation over and over and over again. So what I did is I actually created a blog post for it. Just so I didn't have to keep talking about it. We literally would just send that blog post out in emails to people when they had questions. And we would send it to all of our referral partners. And again, part of it, like I used it as a thought leadership standpoint. But little did I know that it would produce a massive amount of organic traffic, because as lenders started looking for this, we started getting inundated from companies across the United States finding our blog post about this because nobody else had written about it. If you can figure out how to solve a problem with a blog and put it down, it will attract organic traffic. You have to push it a little bit. There's some work that you may need to do, but content will produce leads, which is the second one. Lead generation. Valuable content converts casual leaders into potential customers. Now, a lot of times when you get into like lead generation, starting to drive traffic to your website, and you're getting to a point where you're ready to start focusing on your growth, what happens is you may drive, like, let's say you start a campaign, you send 10,000 visitors to your website or your landing page. When people start seeing this and they start exploring your blog post, they start exploring the content that you have written out, they may not be ready to buy right then and there. But if you can provide enough valuable content that actually has an impact on them, that actually does something relevant for their lives, their business, whatever industry you're in, what will happen is that they will become followers. Now, they may not buy right out of the gate, but people who are following you on social media, people who are engaging with your blogs, have an incredibly valuable spot inside of your marketing ecosystem. Because from here, the more that people are engaging with your content on your blog, the more Google recognizes that. The more people who engage with your content on social media, the platforms and the algorithms recognize that. So while you're putting together your content, don't be afraid of sending people to your blog posts. Let them experience, let them see what you do. Share content with them that is actually going to make them think and get them moving forward. Next is going to be your SEO performance. SEO, like content, is the king of SEO. SEO is, you cannot have search engine optimization without having content. And this includes blog posts, the content on your website, all sorts of content everywhere. Search engine optimization revolves around the content on your website. And it's pretty simple. Like the search engines don't know what you do or how you do things until they can actually read it on your website and see what's going on. So you want to make sure that you're writing blogs that are using your SEO keywords. It is a core strategy for SEO. It is one of the major components with it. And the last one, why content marketing is so important: brand awareness. Consistent publishing keeps your brand top of mind. The more people see emails, see blogs coming from you, see content that you're producing, the more that even if they're not ready to buy, they may click and go into the blog and start reading, get some ideas. The more they engage, the better. You want to give somebody any excuse you can to engage with your content, to engage with your website, to be able to get them to convert. Hey, I've already been here. Next, let's talk about some common mistakes to avoid. First, creating content without a goal is a terrible mistake. You should always have a strategy for why you are creating content. Every piece of content should serve a strategic purpose aligned with the business objectives. Simply put, if you're out here creating content with no real reason, or without a goal or a strategy of how does this work with my SEO? How does this work with my blog content? Like, these are all things that you need to keep in mind and work around. Another common mistake is being on every platform without a strategy. Not all platforms are made for all people. Some people just cannot stand Facebook. Some people can't stand YouTube. Like, just because people are there doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be there, but you need to figure out where is your audience, what channels are your audience hanging out on, and then those are the platforms that you really want to pour a lot of your energy into, is the platforms that your primary clients are on. Now, if you're in the business to business space, this could very highly likely involve LinkedIn, maybe even like a Substack, a place like that. If you're more of a business to consumer, Facebook, Instagram is a great place to hang out. But just figure out where you're going to be. Like, just because a platform's available doesn't mean you need to be on it. It's better to limit the number of platforms that you're on so that you can be where the people are. Next is going to be another common mistake to avoid is inconsistent publishing. If you are not producing content consistently, people are going to forget about you very quickly. Like, if you stop emailing them, you stop producing blogs, you stop posting on social media, people are going to forget about you. You're like, we are constantly drinking out of the fire hose as Americans. Like, we are constantly just being bombarded with ads and content and all this different stuff. And by not being consistent in your posting and what you're doing, you're going to drop out of mind, and out of sight, out of mind. It's just the easiest analogy for it. So make sure that you're consistently publishing. Make sure you've got a schedule that can build trust. The more people see you out there, the more they feel like they can depend on you because they're seeing you. And the last common mistake is ignoring analytics. If you do not know what's happening with your content, you're not really running a content marketing strategy. You're really just throwing a bunch of words out on the internet. Watch your analytics. Your analytics are crucial to being able to see what's performing, what people are interested in, and how things are going with your marketing. All right, so let's talk about our strategy framework. We've really got five different things here. We're going to call these 5 Ps. First is going to be plan your strategy. Next, produce your assets. Then publish your campaigns, promote your posts, and then perform. You track your results, track your performance, watch how things are going on. And we're going to dive into these. But this is the overall strategy of what I want you to be thinking about. Your framework should be sitting down, coming up with a plan. What are we going to write about? How's this going to work into our SEO? How's this going to work into social media? How are we going to tie this into our communication with our clients and our leads? Next is the production. Like, who's going to produce what, when, and how, and what exactly are you producing? Publishing, that's pretty straightforward, but it's really just promoting getting your content out on the platforms, whether it's a blog, pushing the blog post, social media, scheduling that out. And then promote. This one gets really fun because there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, such as boosting posts, sharing your blogs and email campaigns, all sorts of stuff. All right, so let's talk about step one. The first one. Step one is plan. Goals and audience. SMART goals. The first thing that you want to be thinking about: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goals. What are your goals for producing your content? Is it to build social media engagement? Is it SEO? Is it social media? Is it newsletter? Is it whatever it is? You want to have a goal for this, and then from that goal, you need to start figuring out what exactly do I want. Like, if I put this blog post out, what is my SMART goal for this? And can I measure it? Is it achievable? Like, I'm going to tell you, if you just started a website and, like, let's say your website's under a year old, you're not going to rank on the front page of Google for a while. You may for very long tail keywords, but like if you're competing for your primary keywords, it's not an achievable result. So you want to be thinking, like, what is something that's achievable? If I write this blog, can I get 2 leads from it? Can I get 1,000 people to see this one blog? And then you want to think, is this relevant? Does this actually impact my audience? Am I providing a solution and doing something that's going to make sense to them? Or am I just out here yapping my trap for whatever reason? And then time bound, making sure that you've got specific end dates for your measurements. Next thing in your plan, buyer personas. These are also called client avatars, detailed profiles of your ideal customers. I was having a conversation earlier today with one of our partners, and we were talking about some things that we're working on, and he's like, "Man, that audience that you're talking to right there is our exact avatar. Do you know how much easier it is for me to refer them business because they can tell me who their avatar is?" Like, if you're not thinking about who is the specific person that you want to be talking to, then you're missing out. Because if you can really nail down the exact type of person that you want to be engaging with your content, then you can start creating content for that person and really start to get detailed information on who they are, how they function. And then the other thing that you want to plan and think through is, what is your customer journey? And when you start thinking about your customer journey, you're going to be thinking about like awareness. How do they know about you? How are they going to know about you? How are they going to meet you for the first time? Then you're going to be looking at awareness, like, how do they know who you are? Consideration. Now you want to take them from that. Okay, now they know who you are. You're not just this ambiguous name out there floating around on the internet. Like, there's actually a little bit of awareness of who you are. Next, you want them to be thinking, okay, is this product, is this service something that's relevant to me? And from there, now you're going to be engaging them in a different manner. And when you're looking at your content strategy, this is going to include email campaigns. It's going to include your blog posts, your video sales letters, everything. That's why this is so important with coming up with your customer journey. Because at the end of the day, if you're not if you don't have a direction or a specific way to engage with somebody with where they're at in the buying cycle, you're going to be missing what they're talking about. For example, if I'm just talking about awareness, like, hey, well, I'm doing this cool thing, come over here and look at this image, look at this TikTok video, watch this. And I've got a client that is in the middle of the consideration process, but we're not overcoming their objections. They're more than likely going to leave because we're not actually engaging them in a way that is that is addressing their needs and their concerns. And the last one's going to be the decision process, prompting them to actually get in and start working through that decision. All right, second step in our framework is produce. Here's the type of content that you're going to need to be thinking through: blog posts, video content, infographics, ebooks, podcasts, keyword research, some of the best. You need to also be thinking about email content, website content, all of these assets. Anytime you're writing something for your business, you need to follow your SMART goals strategy. Excuse me. What is some of your best practices when you're in your production stage? Focus on keyword research. Like, if you don't know what I'm gonna stand on a soapbox for a minute, because this is something that I get that I see often, and it is one of my biggest pet peeves. And if I ever see you do this, I may call you out. Don't get too smart for your own good. Meaning that, like, I'll give you an example. We offer websites, CRMs, marketing, lead generation, all this stuff. If I go out and I say, and I try to rebrand what a CRM is, and now instead of saying, oh yeah, get access to a CRM, and I'm like, oh, get access to this AI generating nurture, blah, 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 and come up with this weird acronym that no one's heard about, or this weird name to try to put some relevant twist that makes me edgy, people are not going to find you, and they're not going to understand what you're talking about. When I say being too smart for your own good, coming up with ways to describe your services, to describe your content, but not using the relevant keywords is going to hurt you in your conversions, and it's going to hurt you in just your lead generation process. Because if I'm talking with somebody and they're using words and acronyms and things that I don't understand. I'm just immediately disconnecting. Even if it's important, like my brain's now going, oh, wait, what did that stand for? And where does this fit in? And blah, like it just, it takes time for people to grab onto what you're saying. If you use language that they're familiar with, that changes this dynamic. And that's where the keyword research comes in, because now you can use the language that people are searching for to speak directly to them. Because like if I look up CRM in a keyword research and I see that there's a million different searches for it, I know that if I use that word, people are going to understand. They're going to connect and already have a preconceived idea of what I'm talking about and what this is relevant to. The next best practice is repurpose content. Use it over and over and over and over and over again. Like the more that you're able to use content that you create once, the further it's going to go, the more impact it's going to have, the more successful it's going to be. And then create as SMEs, create with small business, with social media influencers, find different people who are driving traffic, and find ways to promote your content with the stuff that you're doing. All right, and I've still got a lot, so I'm gonna kind of hurry through these last ones because I got a busy day ahead of me here. All right, so next, step 3 is going to be publish. I forgot to take my ugly mug off the screen there. Step 3, publish. So when you're publishing, you want to be thinking about like where are you going to put out your content that eyeballs can see it. Obviously, your website and your blog should be the first place that you go. It's your home base for all your content. YouTube, if you're doing videos, put it on YouTube. Don't be one of these, I just use Wistia. Nobody searches Wistia. This is like YouTube is the place that people can go and search. YouTube is actually one of the #1 search engines in the world because that's where people go to look up questions. Christian, great question. Christian asked here, how do you spark up partnerships with influencers, etc.? That's a great question. The best way that I can tell you is come up with a strategy. And when I say a strategy, it's going to include monetization. You want to make sure that they can track. When I'm setting up JVs and I'm working on like joint ventures, partnerships like this with influencers, I'm always going to give out money. Like I want them to earn money off of sharing my content. And so with that, even using just something as simple as like your affiliate manager inside of Profit Lifter is going to give them a unique URL that they can share and make it so that all the traffic and all the action that happens from that traffic actually shows up inside of and it gets credited to them. And then from there, just put your campaign, your influencer campaign, just put it out there, put it in the public. Like if you see somebody talking, just go into their DMs and go, hey, by the way, if you need a way to monetize your content, here's what we do. Like, let's talk about sponsorship. Some of the other things you can do, and I'm going to go off on a tangent here because I love this question. It's one of my favorites. But some of the other things that you can do, you can look at like a content sharing strategy where maybe they're just promoting blogs and things that you're putting out, sharing social media posts. But there's also things that you can do, like being a commercial, like actually being an advertiser on their channel. And we've all seen it where you're watching a video and you're like, and this video was brought to you by Profit Lifter. With Profit Lifter, you can blah, 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 blah. But wait. So like working with them in that relationship is going to be important. The thing that you need to be prepared for, though, is that any influencer that you deal with is already going to know how you fit into their ecosystem, how you fit into what they're doing. So you want to make sure that you're able to accommodate them, whether it's from like a product position where you're actually like a commercial advertiser, or if it's like they just want to share content through their different platforms, anything like that. So hope that answered your question, Christian. And I know we do have other videos on starting JVs, partnerships, influencers, things like that. All right, let's hop back here. Next, publish. Make sure that you're publishing on all the social media platforms that you are going to be engaged in. Remember, if you're not going to be engaging on the platform, don't use it. It's that simple. Email newsletters, love email newsletters, direct audience connection. This is a great way to share blog posts with leads, with clients, with referral partners, with everybody. So like if you're not producing one blog a week and sending out an email, do it. It's incredibly helpful. You'll see a lot of engagement. You'll see a lot of people that just kind of pop up out of the woodwork for it. And lastly, is going to be third-party publications, publisher networks that you can just push your content out to. Is going to be very helpful, and it's a great way to get out there. And like when you get into it, there are networks and things that you can do where you pay like $100, $200, and it'll push your blog to these different publication networks and help drive traffic. It's a really cool things. It's more of an advanced tactic, but good way to do that as well. All right, step 4 is promote. Promote SEO optimization. Optimize for search engines to maximize organic discovery. Now, look, if you're getting into SEO, if you've never done search engine optimization, you don't ever like, you can set a goal of saying, hey, I want to be, I want to be number one on Google for like this one short keyword. So I can say, look, I want to be number one for CRM. I know this is probably never going to happen for years to come, but I can be number one in Kansas City. I can be number one in St. Louis. I can be number one in Des Moines. I can start expanding out and like slowly start becoming number one in all these different markets until it starts to become and gain enough traction to be a national effort. But to do this, you've got to be strategic. You've got to optimize your content for the search engines. You've got to make sure that your website's in order. You got to make sure that you're using your proper tags, H1, H2, paragraph tags, all that fun stuff. Next, you want to promote through social sharing strategies. Create platforms for specific promotion tactics for a wider reach. I have a friend of mine that does this on LinkedIn. He does an awesome job. Like he'll go through and create a weekly newsletter directly on LinkedIn and just share it there. And he kills it. He does great with it. It's incredibly helpful. It's a great strategy that's working really well for him. But that's just LinkedIn. Like he doesn't do that on Facebook. He doesn't do it on Instagram, nothing else. But come up with social sharing strategies that you like, that you get passionate about, something that you would be like, yes, I want to put my name on this. Next is paid promotion. Look, if you got some cash in the bank, dump $10, $20, $100 onto a post and boost the crap out of it. Let people see it. Get out there and show it across Facebook, show it on Google, show it everywhere. Paid promotion. You've got to pay to play now. Like organic social media is just about dead. Even going live before, like I would see tremendous results from going live. Now I do it more because I want the content to be able to share it in newsletters. But going out and paying for your post to be boost will go a long way for getting eyeballs and figuring out and starting to generate leads with it. Next is going to be influencer collaboration. Partner with industry voices to extend your content's reach. This is one of the best things that I love doing. This like JVs, influencers, having these types of relationships, like I'm passionate about. I love this. And the reason is because you can develop this intense network of people that will meet your clients' needs based off of what you already do. So for example, Profit Lifter, we do websites, we do all this stuff. Some of our best referral partners are merchant accounts because now they're like, hey, look, like for one, we can refer people. They're like, I don't have a merchant account. I'm like, oh, go talk to our friends over here. Now we have a reciprocal affiliate relationship, meaning we're getting paid when we're referring people, and then they're getting paid because they're signing up our clients. And then on the flip side, they want to share us because now we have an affiliate relationship back where when they're referring us clients, they're getting paid for the referral as well. So set up these influencer relationships. Find people that fit around your product offer. Like, for example, if you're offering business credit and business loans, one of the first steps to a fundable foundation is having a website. You should be partnered with Profit Lifter on that. shameless plug. It's my live. I get to do what I want. Don't judge me. But don't be afraid of getting out there. Set up these influencer collaborations. Figure out ways that you can partner with leaders in your industry. And then next is going to be internal linking. And really what this has to do with is like when you're in a blog or you're on a website, web page, you just link it to other pages and other sites and other blogs inside of your own network. That's why it's called internal, because it's all contained within your ecosystem. But these are some quick and easy ways to be able to promote your business. Step 5 is perform. This is going to be tracking your performance. The key metrics that you're going to be looking for: traffic, like how much traffic, how many people are seeing there; engagement, time on page. Are people spending time reading your blogs? Are they engaging with your content? What does your bounce rate look like? Basically, like if you look at your time on page and your bounce rate and you're like, man, people are coming and only hanging out for like 5 seconds, either one, you're hitting the wrong audience, or two, your content sucks and people don't want to see it. So these are why you want to track this, because this is how you come up with informed decisions on what you're going to be doing. Next is going to be your conversions. When you're writing blogs, when you're writing content, always include a call to action section. Call to action section could be pretty simple. It could just be like subtly implanting links. It could be you put a banner across it. There's like all sorts of different ways that you can do it. But you want to be tracking what does that conversion look like, and then ROI. Like if I'm spending 3 hours a week to produce all this content, how much am I making off of using this content? What's my return on investment for investing 2-3 hours a week on this? And some of the tools that you're going to want to use for this: Profit Lifter, of course. See, it's the best one out there. Google Analytics, so you can see exactly what your engagements look like, what your bounce rates look like. And then SEMrush is actually a great tool as you get into like monitoring your performance for SEO, what your page rank looks like, all of that stuff. SEMrush is one of the best and most solid tools out there. All right, tools and templates. And I put a bunch of stuff in here, and I don't even remember what I put in here and why, but we'll get through it. But the first one I do know is a content calendar. You want to be thinking through what a content calendar is really going to help you plan out your strategy for content. And yes, this is an AI image. Don't judge the words. They're not real. It's AI, I promise. But with your content calendar, basically what you're going to do is you're going to think through, okay, you know what? And when you get into like having multiple assets and types of resources that you're using, a content calendar becomes critical. So for example, what this could look like is I say, you know what, based on all my search results and analytics, I feel like Fridays at 4 p.m. is going to be the best time to release a YouTube video. So now I know that Monday through Friday, I want to be building up to this grand finale YouTube video release, meaning that my social media posts are going to start. My social media posts are all going to lead up to this big climax of this YouTube video release. And so now I'm starting to plan out my strategy. On top of that, we're also going to write a blog and let's say release it on Wednesday that is going to talk about the exact same thing that the YouTube video is talking about. The reason I'm going to do this is twofold. One, now I've got supporting content that while people are looking at it on YouTube, I can go in the description and go, hey, want to learn more? Check out the blog here. And it sends them there. The second reason is because now I can take that YouTube video and embed it on the blog. So as people are finding it organically, now they're able to watch the content, listen to the content, and read the content all at the same time. And it's a great conversion strategy. And now when I'm sending out my newsletter, I'm not just sending people to YouTube, hoping that they don't go to some other channel or watch their favorite content creator, but I'm sending them to my blog. So if they start looking around, they're going to be looking around on my content. Christian asks, any AI notes tools you recommend? I honestly use ChatGPT for everything. And I'm happy with it. We're exploring some different options, but ChatGPT is kind of the staple to get there. So that's a great way. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I like doing for with my AI is I'll put it on speak mode and then go through and record a Loom video while AI is listening, and then have it recap everything. So if I'm like mapping out content for my content writing team, or like helping put together for my content team, like I'll just send them that Chat GPT, and I'll just send them the Loom video. Basically covers all the content. Some of the other tools that you want to look at is tracking, is like Google. You can get away with all of this with basically having Google and Profit Lifter and AI. Having a headline analyzer is helpful. Not a headline analyzer, but having a headline analyzer is helpful. It's a great way to get in there and check things out. And then an AI writing assistant, like I said, I love Chat GPT. DeepSeek is awesome. I've used Jasper before. Jasper was kind of my intro into AI content writing, and it was really cool. It had a lot of really cool features that were built on top of the actual AI engine. So I was a big fan of Jasper, of how that worked as well. All right, so here's summary and action plan. So again, recapping the 5 Ps. We're going to plan our content. We're going to produce it. We're going to publish it. We're going to promote it. Then we're going to track our performance. Set our goals. We're going to establish clear, measurable objectives for your content. Start small and scale. If you're not producing content, don't like be like, oh, I'm going to produce Pinterest and blah, 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 blah. Start small and scale. Begin with manageable content types before expanding. Get good at the basics. Then when you add things, it's a snap. It's easy. Stay consistent. Maintain a regular publishing schedule to build audience trust, and track and adapt. I will promise you this one thing, and it is inevitable. It is going to happen, and that is going to be that everything that you learn is going to change, especially being on the precipice. I don't even know if that's the right word, of AI, being at the beginning of the AI revolution. Everything's about to change. Everything's going to be up in the air. You have got to be adaptable in this time, because if you're not adaptable, if you're not learning, if you're not figuring out how to really leverage AI, leverage tools, leverage all these different things, you're going to get left in the dirt. So you want to track and adapt, because things are going to change, and it's going to, something that worked last week may not work next week. It's just how it goes. For example, TikTok's going away again this Friday. So like if you had this robust TikTok strategy, it's gone. Like it just is not going to be there anymore. Now you've got to move that over to YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, another platform. All right, so what are your next steps? First, assign roles. Clarify who will handle each aspect of your content strategy. I always recommend that if you're not great at this, at least sit in with a content expert and help them and give them feedback on coming up with the content that you need, and know what's going on inside of your business. Next, choose your platforms. Select the channels that your audience is most active, and then from there, draft a content calendar. I always do mine a quarter in advance. Like I love having 90 days worth of content, because one, if I get really busy, it's just not this constant thing that I have to do. And not only that, but like when you're kind of in the flow working with AI in it, like knocking out 90 days is nothing. I don't like going past 90 days though, because if you add a new product, now you got to go in and rewrite your calendar and all this other stuff. And then from there, create your first content. Look, if you're not writing blogs, if you're not posting on social media, get out there, start writing your content. People are waiting for you. Get out there and do it. All right. That's it. Now you have your 5 strategy steps. You've got your simple framework for success. You've got 14 actionable item tips, and you've got 24/7 support and access resources available at profitlifter.com. If you're not using Profit Lifter, make sure you head over to profitlifter.com. We got all sorts of great things that we could do with your CRM, helping you with your marketing, producing leads for you, running ads, like all sorts of cool things. Basically anything you need for the front end of your business, for marketing and sales, lead generation, we got you covered. We can help you out. So go check us out on profitlifter.com. If you're not already a client, Join us. We would love to have you. We love taking care of our clients. If you are a client, you are the most amazing person I've ever met, and you're the smartest person watching this thing. So kudos to you for being so awesome. So until next week, you guys have an amazing week, and